Hi, this is Linda with CreativePLR.com, and today we are making some classroom signs. Specifically, we're making growth mindset signs for the classroom because in a classroom, they're very popular. Kids need to see positive messages. You could also use these same signs as covers for like binders. You could use them for like lessons, start each lesson. You could use them for a variety of things, but we are going to use them for classroom signs. Now, the first thing we're going to do, I'm in Canva, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a design. And I'm going to use letter size, and if you're doing this and you want to do an A4, you can do A4 as well. You can do both. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do some preliminary decoration. I'm going to only use one slide right now, and I've uploaded some papers. You know me, I've uploaded all kinds of papers all the time. And so here are some school papers, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say set image as background. So very definitely school. Now, if I put text on top of this, it's really going to fight. So I know that I'm going to have to use an element, and I'm going to use my square, and I'm going to leave enough of that school border on there. And then I'm going to put my text right in the middle, and I'm going to sell these. So I need to use a text, a font that I've got commercial rights to use. And that means I'm probably going to vary it, but I'm going to start with something like that's generic. And when I say generic, I mean something that's a Google font that I can use without getting in any trouble. Let's see. I know I have that Cavallini is a commercial font, and that can be uploaded. So I'm going to just leave it like that right now, but I'm going to move it up a little bit. Now, I don't want this green. I think I want it, in this case, I want it probably, maybe I want it yellow. That's really yellow, isn't it? Okay, so now I need my sayings, my growth mindset sayings. Now, if you've read my blog, if you've been reading my newsletters, you know I poked fun at people talking about that ChatGPT. Okay, I did. I was tired of hearing about it, and I had used it for a few things that I'm like, I don't know what everybody's so excited about. But then I kind of got a little obsessed with it. Okay, so I'm going to go over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to open up, and you can see I've been doing all kinds of things there. I'm going to open up a new chat. There it is. They give you examples, and it's all about the prompts. If you try to do this and you don't have an idea specifically what you want to do, it gives you kind of a vague answer. And I think that was part of my problem. So I need, let's say 50 growth mindset sayings that are appropriate for high school students. Now, and then I'm going to look at what I get. And the thing that you've got to be aware of, that sometimes it repeats. So if it can't think up 50, it might get to 30 and then start repeating the ones you already got by changing a word or two. And it doesn't look like it stopped. And so I'm going to assume for the purpose of this video that they're all different, and they actually do look all different. So now I'm going to go back over to Canva, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to click on Bulk Create. And I'm going to click on Enter Data Manually. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to delete the column. And then I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to go over here, back to my sayings. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go back to Canva. And then I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say paste. Now, I know that last thing where it's talked about, remember, okay, we don't want that. That would be a waste. And I do have 50. And I could change this, but I'm going to leave it as name. Okay. And so I'm going to, at this point, say, I'm done with that. And then I'm going to go over to where it said add a heading, and I'm going to right click. And see down here where it says link? I'm going to say link. Oh, it didn't like that. Name. Right click. Link. Whoops. Right click. Come on. Right click, connect data, name. Now, if I've done this correctly, I'm going to get 50 pages, and each one of them is going to have a saying. So Let's cross our fingers and let's see what happens. Generate. So that took, I think maybe 2 seconds, maybe less. And what I noticed right away is that the font is too little. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to fix the font. And maybe I have to back it up slightly to get that in there. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the spacing so that it kind of fills the area. And I'm going to do that on each one. Now, I could have done that at the beginning, but some of these sayings are longer than others. And so I don't necessarily know how much space it's going to take for the longest one. We could always back up and we could make it bigger and do it. But I've done this enough now that I found you're still going to have to adjust it a little bit. Okay. Doesn't matter how upfront you are, you're still going to adjust it. And then there's going to be 50 of these. And so I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to go through and I am going to adjust these and then I will be back. Be back in 2 seconds. So I timed it. That took a little over 6 minutes. And I've gone through and I've adjusted the font size on a few and I've the line spacing so that the font is in the middle, the text is in the middle. Now, some of these are much shorter than others, so what I would do is I would go in and I'm selling these to the end user. So I could go in and I probably got some elements, some school elements there somewhere. And no, we don't want to put Halloween on. That looks very odd. Okay, so I would put some elements on here to decorate it. The other thing I would also do is, even though I like this paper, I don't want this paper on all 50. So I might use this paper. Hopefully that's not the Halloween paper because that would be a really bad thing. Okay, no, and then I'll use this paper, and then I'll use this paper, and then I'll use this paper. And it could be that when I get done, what I'll want to do is I'll want to go in and I want to change the color of that box. And that's an easy thing to do. I think I originally made 20 papers, so we know we're going to have to use the same paper twice. Sometimes you can drag and drop it, and sometimes it just gets a little fussy. I do like this one with line art because you could use that for a lot of things that you actually make that kids are going to write on and they could color that in. Unique. The font as well, if you want to change the font on these. And then you can save them either as PNG if you want to sell them as images, or you can sell them as a PDF if you're selling it to the end user, and that would be a teacher. You could repeat this process using A4, and so you'd have 2 sets of them. You could also sell them on Etsy or Shopify for back to school. Back to school is coming. I hope this was helpful and you get an idea of how to create